All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the statement. We back, but this time in a new special episode, we actually have a guest on the show that's not sitting right next to me. I want to welcome to the show Delaware football tight end Levaughn Lewis. What's going on, brother?
Good, my boy.
What's good? What's good? All right, so you already know the topic of discussion today. We're gonna be talking about the Super Bowl picks. Now, last year it was the Chiefs and the Eagles. Now, my boy. Who you got making the Super Bowl did this upcoming season? What we got?
Man, I got the New York Giants. No, let me stop playing.
Yo,
Let me stop. Obviously, with starting quarterbacks coming back, I feel like the 49ers could be a top contender again. The offense is really explosive and their defense has a lot of key players. I think if they can stay healthy offensively, they'll be able to keep up with the Eagles offense if they do end up coming back because you cannot sleep on the Eagles O-line. They're very they protect that boy very well. And defensively, their D line will get in your shit. They have lockup corners. So plus with Devontae Smith and everybody else they got, bro.
bro, I don't know about the Niners though because like they don't even got their QB situation right.
I mean, there's only time to tell. I mean, they brought him that far. They brought him all the way to the playoffs, and they got Christian McCaffrey halfway through the season. So we can see how they build up the momentum from game one all the way to game 17.
But this is my gripe with the Niners though. So like yes, Brock Purdy won you 6-7 games last year, and then he brought you into the playoffs and everything like that. But all the money and draft capital that they use to go get Trey Lance, and you telling me that they just gonna sit him? Like I'm telling you, there's probably gonna be some turmoil in the beginning of the year. I don't know about the Niners, bro. I don't know about the
I didn't
Niners.
say that. I said they are contenders. I didn't say they are my favorite to win.
So who you got as the favorite? And
Well,
don't say the Giants.
relax. Um, hmm. You would want to say Kansas City again, but they're one of those teams where they're always going to be really good, but you don't know if they're going to completely seal the deal each year because their defense is still shaky, and that's
You
the
mean
one
shitty?
shaky. They were able to slow down the Eagles' offense just a little bit.
I don't know.
Don't get me wrong, Jalen Hurts folded when he fumbled, and that kept Kansas City in the game. Feel like if he never fumbled that ball, as much as I want the Eagles to lose, they might have had that game sealed. And then obviously you can't put anything past Mahomes. And their offense essentially is their defense. So if there was some way that their defensive coordinator could gel that defense together and fix
Hmm.
their team, they can't be touched because you're not going to stop Kansas City's offense. Have Philadelphia big favorites to come back for obvious reasons. Let's see. Hmm. Buffalo always has some shit going on.
Always. You can't ever count out Josh Allen, bro.
You
Man's
can
just
never
too
count
good.
him out, but he also hasn't done too well these last three playoffs.
But I think like with each of the playoff runs that Josh Allen has had, you can look at it and there's not much where you can say like, nah, that was Josh Allen's fault. Why they lost. Like the game against Kansas City 2 years ago, bruh. Like he gave his defense. He said, "Yo, y'all got 13 seconds. Don't let them score." And what did they do? Let them score. And then they got the ball back in overtime. Josh Allen didn't even get the ball again. That was so fucked up that they went ahead and made a new rule just so shit like that wouldn't happen again.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And then wait, who did they lose to last year?
Didn't they lose to Cincinnati? Or am I tweaking? No.
Or was
Yeah,
it Kansas City?
yeah, that's a good question. Mm.
I forget off the top of my head. But I mean, like, nonetheless, though, when it comes down to it,
Let me go
like,
look this up because now I don't know
I
why.
bet you while you look that up, I'll go ahead and make my point. So with Buffalo, it's like every single oh wait, no, I think it was Kansas City that they lost to. I could have swore it was Kansas City. Because it was 2 years ago, Stephon Diggs had that picture where he was like looking at the celebration like this and shit. And
I
then
feel
it's like,
it was the Bengals. I was right.
oh, it was the Bengals? Oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh, that's right, because I think it was the AFC title game
Yeah,
was Bengals Chiefs. Got you.
yep.
This time it was in Arrowhead.
He got that ass smacked too. 2017.
Nah, wait, what was the score?
27-10.
Oh my God. Okay, I have to rescind my statement from before
Yeah,
about Josh
the
Allen.
Bengals defense ain't even that good, and Josh Allen couldn't put up at least 20.
Well, Joe Burrow is also Joe Burrow. Like he ain't no slouch.
See, Joe Burrow is not a slouch, but when you're a top, questionably top three quarterback,
Mhm.
you
See,
need
so this is what I'm thinking. I don't know how I feel about Kansas City for the simple fact that now that Denver has Sean Payton as the head coach, I don't think they're gonna be shit in the bed like they did last year because last year we all found out that Daniel Hackett's a fucking joke. So it's kind of just like Sean Payton comes in, proven head coach. He's gonna go ahead and change like the entire culture. They just signed Frank Clark, so now they have that defensive end presence that they always had before with like Vaughn Miller, and Bradley Chubb.
to put Frank Clark in those categories, though. He doesn't have that same impact on defense.
Now he
Um,
doesn't, but this you can't say that he wasn't a pivotal part to the last two Kansas City Super Bowls.
he was.
All right, then. So it's just like, you bringing him in as like a solid piece to help, like get that locker room like together, especially with that whole let's ride thing going on and shit like that.
Yeah, that's right.
but, but
Yeah,
it's just like,
it was one hell of a ride.
yeah, nah, for real.
Roller coaster of
Worst
emotions.
offense in Denver
Never.
Broncos history. Like
Huh?
that was the worst offense in Denver Broncos history last year.
That's
Like
right.
it was yeah, it was terrible. And Russell Wilson, out of nowhere, he went from literally like a top 5 QB in the league to shitty,
It might
like
have
out
been
of nowhere.
it might have just been the scheme because you have to realize not every quarterback, running back, that fucking any position is going to fit in every single scheme. So it
Nah,
probably
you right.
that there was a different offense that he had to operate, different players. He didn't have a DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. You don't have those
Like,
explosive
hey,
players on
hey,
offense.
whoa,
But
whoa, whoa.
You have Jerry Judy, but Jerry Judy has also been very inconsistent in the last three
But he's
years.
got Cortland Sutton too.
He's not a
And
DK.
KJ. And he got KJ.
And the offense was terrible. Look, that's I'm just throwing out the differences between one offense and another. This
All
obviously,
right. You know what?
but you can't put those receivers in the same category as a dude who's 6'3", runs a 4.3, right?
No,
And
I understand.
Lockett
DK
has
is
been
that guy.
consistent each year. So, and as a matter of fact, Geno Smith has been a very mid quarterback his whole career.
Below
Put him on
mid.
Seattle, hey, but you put him on Seattle, and that offense was still thriving. My point, scheme. You keep Russell Westbrook. Wow, Russell Wilson. Chill on me. Keep Russell Wilson. Keep
Yo.
Russell Wilson. Keep him on Seattle, and they're still going to be a really good team.
You know what? I agree with you. Seattle's receiver core just got way better now. They got Jackson Smith and Jigma. Seattle's offense is gonna be scary next year.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, they're gonna be scary. But back to the original point though, now that Denver seems like it's gonna like be like a functioning franchise and actually like be good because they got new ownership too. They got the Walmart people over in Denver now as the owners and shit. So they trying to lock everything down. That division next year, look, Raiders, you can just chuck that one out. They ain't doing shit. But Chargers, new head coach, new scheme. Justin Herbert is still balling over there. Chiefs are the Chiefs. We already know what they're gonna do. I just feel like because of how deep that division is and how much they probably gonna be battling, I feel like a team in the AFC East is probably gonna swap and take the number one seed. So that takes away home field advantage for the Chiefs, which makes their Super Bowl journey a little bit harder. Because realize Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets. So you got the Jets in the AFC East with Aaron, you got the Bills and Josh Allen, and say what you want to say, but Miami ain't no slouch neither. And the Bill
Oh,
Belichick coach
I'm not
team,
sleeping on Miami because I think they officially now have the fastest team in the league, and that is going to make that's going to make them very hard to scheme against because you can't coach speed.
you can't. You can try and prevent it, But that's a lot of zone coverage you're going to have to throw out.
And adding Jalen Ramsey on that defense.
And hey, everybody's saying that
Howard?
Dalvin Cook is about to head over there.
Xavier Howard?
Yeah.
Gee,
So, yo, never count out a Bill Belichick coach team. Patriots ain't no slouch. That's my team. So you can't sleep on my team. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
Look, I'm not saying that we're gonna go ahead and win like 10, 11 games. We might win like 7 or 8, but
That's
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 still that's still better than the bottom of the league team.
that's sleeping to me because you only win 7 or 8 games. There's 17 of them Jones now. So like
But look at the division.
that's 7 and 10.
Now remember, Cincinnati, that division, it's not as powerful. Like the Steelers, you got Kenny Pickett, Buns. So the Steelers are You
Hey,
got the
don't
Ravens.
Pickett. Don't disrespect Pickett.
Look,
Yeah,
Kenny's not that guy.
he got time. He
He's
doesn't
not
have
that guy, bro. He's not. He's not. He's really not that guy. Like I know Steelers fans are hopeful, but I don't trust in Kenny Pickett like a lot of people trust, because when I look at his tape and I look at what he did in college and then what he's done in the pros, he was like subpar in college up until his final year. And then he gets drafted in the bottom of the first round. And then he goes through his first year, barely could beat out Mitchell Trubisky until Mitchell Trubisky shit the bed. So then now Kenny Pickett got his start, and the Steelers ain't do nothing. They barely scraped by with a winning season. And
mm,
I put that on Mike Tomlin and Najee Harris rather than Kenny Pickett.
put that on Najee.
What? The Steelers running game is no joke.
Yes, man. I mean, their O line could be better though.
Decent O line, but Najee Harris, that's their bell cow. And
He's
they still got their
that
defense.
nigga though.
Hey, look. All I'm saying is that Steelers defense with their running game, Mike Tomlin got them right over there. But Kenny Pickett, he got a lot of work that he got to do because arm strength ain't really there. And this is where I question him. Is he the best decision maker? Is he very accurate with the ball? And can he throw the deep ball exceptionally well? All three I throw into question. I don't really trust him on those three. His completion percentage is mid, don't got a lot of touchdown passes, isn't really great in the interception game. His biggest accomplishment as an NFL player was that fake slide in his last year. That's his biggest accomplishment.
He's got time to develop. He got
All
plenty of
right. You know what?
let's
I'll give him his time, but after year
let's
3,
let's see how he's progressed since last season. Because I'm not gonna lie, I hated Daniel Jones. Still kind of do, but he's picked it up just a little bit.
nah, Daniel Jones, look.
I'm,
Danny
I'm just throwing out,
Dimes,
I'm just throwing out people, quarterbacks who had a terrible year or two, and they're starting to pick it up.
Danny Dimes did not deserve that contract that he got. No
Oh,
way.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I am furious about it. All the quarterbacks that was on the market, I would have been like, yo, Lamar, 5 years, 20, 50 mil. And you know what's crazy? That's exactly what he got. And if we presented it first, shit, the nigga might have took the bait. We got
But
Saquon
but
Barkley.
but like when you think about it though, he wasn't leaving the Ravens. He wasn't.
If someone came up with a better deal, he would have left the Ravens. That's the only reason they were having that problem right now because they wasn't trying to throw him no money.
I think the only reason that it would have been hard for Lamar to leave the Ravens is because I was about to say the Raisins. Oh my God. The only way he was about to leave the Ravens is the simple fact that the teams would have to trade like 2 firsts and like a second to go ahead and get him, and then they got to sign him the bag. That's a hefty price, a real hefty price. Like, look at what Denver gave up for Russell, and no offense to Russell, but I don't think he's Lamar. Lamar got an MVP,
We know that. that is well known.
so it's like Russ, 3 first rounders for Russ, bro. And they're actually doing some pretty good things in Seattle with it, especially now that Geno is playing like some Geno ball. Geno Smith is playing now what he reminded me of how he played in college at West Virginia. Him and Tavon Austin, they was balling out there in West Virginia in college. And now he's doing the same thing in Seattle. So props to
Then
my
they both
man
got,
Geno.
then they both got to the league and with some chips.
They both still in the league though. Don't get it twisted.
There was some chips.
But now Gino balling out. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my piece on Gino. But with the AFC in that East projection, right?
Mhm.
If I had to go ahead and hit you with some Super Bowl picks, NFC, I'm gonna pick the Eagles. Same thing. They're going back. But this time I'm thinking Cincinnati slides in. I'm thinking it's Cincy Fitty because the NFC, bro, low key is a joke. There's not that many teams in contention in the NFC as it is with the AFC. Like my best comparison is like you remember
There's a lot more firepower in the AFC right now.
yeah, you remember a few years ago in the NBA when LeBron was playing for like Miami and it was like basically like two teams in the East were gonna go ahead and make it to the chip, but then the West had like seven that you think could make it.
Well, we can't say that because when LeBron was on the Heat, he still had the Knicks were still really good. They always gave him a run for his money. Pacers, Paul George was still young and gunning. Don't forget they were struggling with the Bulls too. Like I feel like when LeBron was on the Heat, that's when things were more in balance. Once he went back to the Cavaliers, the East became a much larger joke.
Okay, well then that's the reference then.
Carmelo was still balling. You feel me? That
Okay,
that
so
that was
then
a good time for basketball because you honestly didn't know really who was coming out because San Antonio was still balling. We didn't expect the Mavericks to be good that one year. They fucking around won the chip. But
so but you see the comparison though. You see what I mean?
I
The
get what you.
NFC really don't got that because the NFC West isn't the NFC West from a few years ago because the Rams are mid, the Cardinals are ass.
The only teams in the NFC I can see being okay right now are the Cow. Well, not necessarily okay, but in relative contention would be the Vikings, Cowboys. You can maybe sniff the Giants in there. I don't know. I have to. We're gonna have to see how they gel together this year. If our secondary can stay healthy, we may have a chance because that is something that that hurt us a lot. Without all of our guys in the secondary, it was hard to guard guys like bro. Watching us play the Cowboys, C.D. Lamb, Gallup. It was eating Eagles. We couldn't stop the run game for a lick. So our defense is going to have to help our offense because our offense can't keep going three and out, and then our defense staying on the field just getting tired because over the course of the game that wears you out.
Well, I mean, I think the defense for
Yeah.
the Giants could probably step it up next year because Kayvon Thibodeau is going into year two. So, that's gonna help out. Who did the Giants draft this year in the first round?
Uh,
Oh, wait, no, I don't even remember because all I remember is that they got like Jalen Hyatt in the third round.
and then we picked up Deontay Banks from Maryland. Hopefully he can make some noise for us. We picked up a center. We picked up a running back. But
Let me see if I can find it.
I wasn't too impressed with our draft, but I wasn't disappointed either.
So your first pick was Deontay Banks. So you
Mhm.
got a corner out of Maryland.
We need those.
And then you got Michael Schmitz. Um, he was a center.
Mhm.
And then of course Jalen Hyatt in the third. So you went corner, center, and then wide receiver was your top three picks. And Jalen Hyatt is gonna help out that receiving core.
A
Do I think
lot.
the Giants is gonna make it past the wild card round? Fuck no. But that's
That
just me.
that that was the one thing that was annoying to watch. Having no receivers and having no DBs, those are two pivotal parts in every team's grand scheme. If you have terrible DBs, you're not going to be able to stop the pass game. Your DB, everyone's going to start to get tired, and you could really run
Mm-hmm.
the ball down their throats because you're going to get tired of rushing the QB because you
Mm-hmm.
can't guard anybody in the secondary. It's going to keep you guessing. You don't know what they're going to beat you with at that point. Then offensively, you could just send five, six all game because you know that your receivers aren't going to get open and your quarterback, like Daniel Jones, is not going to have the ability
Danny Shits.
to get out of the pocket and really create and improvise to make plays. The only quarterbacks who can do that with a terrible O line would be your Lamar Jacksons, your Patrick Mahomes, your Justin Herberts, etc.
But look, all I'm saying is what your Giants need to do before they even think about making the playoffs, they need to figure out what they're doing with Saquon. Because Saquon today, he just turned down and he's not signing his franchise tag. He's thinking that he's still gonna get some type of deal done, and that running back market is not looking good right now. So, with all things being pointed, y'all might not have the slightest bit of a running game next year. And Saquon was basically your offense last year.
And not basically, he was our offense. With our receivers going down, we had to depend on him a lot, and that's why I don't understand why we gave Daniel Jones so much money, knowing we have a much more valuable asset to our offense.
I think okay, so I think the reason for that is simply the Giants were looking at it is what quarterback can we get where we're selecting versus the QB we have now. Because if you're going to ship Daniel Jones off, you got to have somebody to replace him. And if the production is not going to be replaced, then they're kind of forced to spend the bag on him the way that they did. So I'm guessing that they thought to themselves, Danny is probably better than anybody we're going to be getting right now. So let's just go ahead and throw him his bread and call it a day. But they need to go ahead and do that for the boy Saquon. At least give Saquon like 11, $12 million a year, so like a 4 year, 48 to $44 million deal, and then throw in like 25 or 28 million guarantee, like a good guarantee amount, and like a no trade clause or something. And then call it a day. It's not like he's gonna get Zeke money,
Fair enough.
but like if Dalvin Cook didn't get re-signed, I don't know what hope Saquon got. I don't know about that. Maybe the Giants organization is ran a little bit differently, but they said they basically and Minnesota got rid of Dalvin because they had to pay Justin, not even their QB. They got to pay the receiver. So imagine what's going to happen with Saquon after they pay the
I
QB.
could I could make that little trade off. Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. I could do
Oh
that.
no no no
I
no
could do
no!
it.
I take JJ
There's
anyways.
no comparison as to why we should have did that between Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. I get it, but back to other NFC people I could see coming out. I
Packers
really
is not the Packers.
no. I took the Packers out a long time ago. Once Aaron Rodgers left, they were dead. So realistically, I only see the Vikings, Cowboys, Eagles, and that's pretty
Niners.
and Niners.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't trust the Buccaneers anymore because Baker Mayfield is shit.
Rams,
Um,
no. Cardinals,
no.
no. Seattle, maybe. Falcons, no. Saints, no. Bears, Lions. Actually, Bears should pick up another good receiver though. They
But the Bears is not going to do it. I'm not going to sleep on the Lions, bro. I would not sleep on the Lions with how weak the NFC is this year. I wouldn't sleep on the Lions making it maybe even all the way to like the divisional round.
yeah.
Like I wouldn't sleep on it. But Buccaneers, no. Panthers, fuck no. Saints, hell no. Falcons, bye. Niners, Seahawks, yeah, I could see that. Rams, Cardinals, fuck no, not seeing that. Commanders, god awful. Giants,
I wouldn't say god awful. They have a lot of potential.
the Commanders.
Yes, they
Do
do
you
have.
see what they throwing out at QB? Sam Howell.
Nigga, they didn't have a. Wow. They didn't have a good.
Damn it, we're on YouTube. Stop cursing like that.
My fault. My fault.
Nah, you good.
Um, they didn't really have good QB play last year, and look at what they did. They went 8-8. They even beat the Eagles. Like, here's the thing: they have a really good defense, and they have potential on their offense. If they do get a quarterback, though, they can be scary.
This is what I would
That's
do,
that is the only thing I feel they are really missing. They are
bro.
missing a high caliber quarterback that can put that explosive offense into play with their
Hmm.
defensive line and DBs being able to hold that part of the defense down.
If I was smart and I'm the Commanders, I would sit down with my team and my organization and let them know I'm gonna be like, hey guys, so Caleb Williams and Drake May are coming up. So let's get ourselves in a position where we can either get the first pick or have capital to trade up for the first pick.
You trying to make them? You saying tank?
If I'm Washington, absolutely. Because you got a defense and a receiving core
Why
that
is
are
want to say tank? Because think about how many first round quarterbacks we thought were going to be really good came in and didn't do shit. I don't want to
okay, well look, bro.
all of
Drake
my
May
faith
is a
in a rookie quarterback who may not have as much production because it's not necessarily rare, but you don't oftentimes see teams you get a first round quarterback and they
Mhm.
completely thrive. You feel me?
Look, I can understand the sentiment about Drake May, but bro, Caleb Williams, my boy from SC, from the SC, fight on. That's that's a dude right there. That's that boy. I'm sorry, but he's gonna hit. That's as surefire of a hit as I've seen in a very long time. I'm telling you, any team that goes ahead against him, instantly you gotta add like 3 or 4 wins if they had a shitty record. Instantly gotta add like 3 or 4 wins. He's that good. Like, bro, his improvisation skills, his accuracy, his decision making, he's got great arm strength, he's got good mobility. Mans was a dog for not one but 2 different schools, Heisman Trophy winner, damn near made the playoffs if they didn't have to run into Utah. Like I'm saying, Caleb Williams, that's a hit. I'm telling you right now, put your money, put whatever money you got in the bank account, with the forex money, take that out
This
and,
guy,
and go ahead and
this
throw that in and make that bet. Caleb Williams, first overall pick. Unless God forbid he get injured or something happens to him, that boy the first overall pick. And if I'm Washington or if I'm any of these other shitty teams, that's who I'm going for.
see, as a competitor, I don't want to tank for a quarterback that's not guaranteed. I want to see how many games I could win because think about it, this is still a job.
True.
You would then be telling your players to play less than satisfactory so that we can replace you right now. So we're looking at this quarterback basically saying like, "Yo, you're not our guy. We're gonna look forward to this quarterback." You still have competitors who are gonna want to win. So it doesn't matter how good a prospect coming in may be. Your mindset should not be, "We need to tank for this team." Washington, like I said, has good potential because they have a great defense and they have weapons on offense. They just have to piece it together with a good quarterback. So I would still continue to try and play well, play as hard as I can, see where we can
Mm-hmm.
go. And if it really is just that quarterback problem, then we can focus on that, see what we can do in free agency, trades, etc. But right now, I wouldn't be looking saying, okay, we're not going to play well this year for this reason. They have too many weapons on offense and too many studs on defense for them to be like, all right, this isn't our year. Feel me?
While I respect that as a competitor, I totally understand where you're going to say. So if I'm somebody in the franchise, like especially playing for the team or coaching, I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like I'm not going ahead and tanking for nobody. But as an executive, from an executive standpoint, it might make sense to tank a little bit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're much better than tanking, and they could actually go ahead and make a run for the playoffs. But in their division, they're the worst team.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, the NFC East has turned into the most competitive division in the NFC.
Not in football, because I would give that to the
No, I
AFC
said in the
East.
NFC. I said the NFC East has become the most competitive in the NFC because you look
Mm.
at Eagles 14-3, Cowboys 12-5, Giants 9-7-1, and the Commanders 8-8-1. And that could have went either way if the Commanders were to win that game against the Giants. So, and one of the Eagles' losses came to the Commanders. So you can tell that they are a very strong team to play against. They're not pushovers, and they're not a team that should be tanking. Teams that should be tanking are guys who went under 500 and really need to do so.
A lot of the teams though that went under 500 are teams that already went ahead and like got their QBs, except for a few of them. Like certain teams that could probably tank reasonably. I'm looking at the Saints,
Falcons,
Falcons, Packers.
Rams,
I don't know about the Cardinals, you know. Um, hold on. I'm getting the running out of time thing. We got 9 minutes left.
all right.
And then either we gotta start a new call or end it, but we got 9 minutes. Um, I I don't know about the Cardinals going ahead and running for a new QB because they just paid Kyler. The Rams could make sense, but then you gotta move on from Matt Stafford.
Rams went 5-12, and they also just gave up their second best defensive weapon behind Aaron Donald, who's also the youngest at that time. And Cardinals went 4-13. I'm tanking if I'm them.
The Rams, you said?
If I'm the Rams or the Cardinals, I'm
So what you
tanking.
gonna do with Kyler Murray?
He hasn't been producing. Think about it. What has he really done for this team in the last couple of years that he's been there?
I
Plus, he was.
mean, you right, but they just threw him a monster contract.
I know, and unfortunately for some teams, you're stupid with your money. Giants are a prime example. That was stupid. Just saying, he isn't a quarterback that's been producing so well for them that they're making the playoffs each year, and they're like, okay, we're going to pay you more money because we want to see you do better on this team. You've been doing so much for this team that we need you here. He just hasn't been that guy, and then with him being injured last year, just
Look,
puts
it hurts for me to hear that because I'm a big K1 fan. I ain't even gonna cap. I'm a big K1 fan.
in of whoever you want, but you got to think about it realistically and holistically.
Realistically, Kyler Murray is great. Has he produced? No, he hasn't. Like I'm gonna be honest, he
But
hasn't
does that
produced.
make him great if he's not producing?
I'm going ahead and looking at it from a few perspectives. If I had to like throw the blame on Kyler Murray, I would give him like the reason he hasn't produced is like 40% his fault. And like the other 60%, I gotta put on the franchise that he plays for and the people he was playing for. So like his franchise and his coaches, it wasn't working with Cliff Kingsbury. Like it wasn't. And you look at that franchise, they didn't really have a lot of the pieces necessary to go ahead and help him achieve. Because, like, yes, is Kyler Murray a great quarterback? Absolutely, but I'm not going to throw him in like the Mount Rushmore of like QBs who are good enough to carry a team. Like, he's not that good, but he is good. Like, he's good enough that if you put the right pieces around him, you could do some damage. But if you don't have the right pieces around him, he ain't gonna carry nobody. He's not like Aaron Rodgers. He's not Tom Brady. He ain't like Joe Burrow or Pat, who you could throw on any team and instantly they're better.
Yeah.
That's not Kyler. Kyler is like a better version of like Dak Prescott to me.
I'm sorry. Did you say a better version?
Yeah, I would take Kyler Murray over Dak right now. Right now, I'm taking Kyler Murray over Dak.
What's your reasoning?
My reasoning is one, I feel like Kyler Murray is a better passer of the football than Dak Prescott is. Two, Kyler Murray is a much better runner than Dak Prescott is. He runs the football way better, so that makes him harder to go ahead and sack. And three, like I think he makes better decisions with the football than Dak does. Dak has choked a lot. You throw Kyler Murray on the Dallas Cowboys, they perform way better than they are right now. I think Kyler Murray on the Cowboys roster, and you got to talk about them making a deep run in the playoffs. Because Dallas got a better O line, they got a better receiving core, they got a better defense. And Kyler Murray in the state of Texas, I don't know what it is, but Kyler Murray in the state of Texas, he don't miss. That boy was undefeated in high school. He's still anytime he actually, I think the statistic is he's never lost a game in the state of Texas. Ever. Except for that one playoff game. Because I know he lost to the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Oh, who was the quarterback at that time?
Dakota Rain Prescott, I know.
Just saying.
But that don't mean that he's better. Dallas had a whole like it's so much better team. It's still a team game. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
I
I, I,
think if you
I
swap the
still, I still
QBs,
got, I still got Dak over him. Even
nah, you're bugging.
the only thing I will really give Kyler is his scrambling ability.
You
That's
don't
really
think he's a better passer of the football?
no.
I think he's a much
And
better
and I
passer.
think I think Dak is a better leader too. Like
That I would give you.
we can't blame everything on Dak because a lot of stuff is play calling too in the playoffs. It could be his defense folding. Don't get me wrong, he always makes bad decisions, but I'm not going to place all of those games on him because you think about crucial drives that he's brought his team down the field. When they lost to the 49ers last year, he was cooking down the field. It was like there was nothing the 49ers defense can do to stop him. And what happened? The ref got in the way and time went out because they probably would have scored on that drive. When you watch Dak Prescott, he has composure in the pocket. A lot of times he can get the ball off at the very last second. And it's something that I started to really pay attention to because he gets a lot of slander, but he finds ways to get the ball to his receivers. Like he knows how to facilitate the field and find someone there. He'll make some risky passes, but as a quarterback, sometimes you got to make those risky passes
But
to
but
get players moving.
but my guy. Look, respectfully, the
In
Cardinals were shit before Kyler showed up.
playoffs almost every single year that he's been in there. He always
They've
makes
been to the playoffs like the last 20 years in a fucking row, and they ain't do shit with it. Kyler Murray, the Cardinals were shit before Kyler showed up. And then Kyler came, got them all on the same page, and then they made a playoff run. You went from the first overall pick to the playoff run in only a few years. Granted, yes, Kyler shit the bed in said playoff game, but still, Dak Prescott took the Cowboys over from Tony Romo. And they weren't even doing that bad with Tony. Tony was taking them to the playoffs too. If it wasn't for a shit call against Green Bay, they would have made the championship game.
enough. I don't know.
So they went from
I
one
still
good
feel like
QB to
I still feel like
Dak.
I'm Dak.
They ain't when was the last time you saw the Cowboys in the
Also,
championship game?
Dak also gets injured a lot. He gets injured a lot.
Since me and you have gone ahead and gotten to the age where we can walk. Not one person has sent a text message saying the Dallas Cowboys have made the NFC title game. Since we could walk.
Forget walking, nigga, since we was born.
No, it takes you like 1, 2, maybe 3 years to really start walking. You know what I'm saying? Or like 1 or 2 years as a baby, and then you start walking.
I'm just saying the last time they won a chip, neither of us were born.
Yeah, neither of us were alive.
And ever since we've been able to conceptualize the sport of football. Because we're not Cowboys fans, we never said, "Oh, they're looking like they're gonna win a chip."
I mean, there's a few years where you could have threw them in the bucket. Like this year, I think is going to be one of their better years. Now that they got rid of Zeke's contract and don't have to necessarily deal with that money issue, so they were able to spend more on their defense, and they got Brandon Cooks to go ahead and help CD. So I could go ahead and throw the Cowboys as potential contenders only because the NFC is really, really weak right now.
That's the problem. They're almost always going to be a contender. And Dak is
That's
a
that's
great
because of
leader.
Jerry, though.
He's a great leader. He's also going to get them there as he always has. Like even coming into the league, he had a high praise. Like yes,
Look at that roster.
he folds in the playoffs, but he gets them there. There's going to something has to give. I feel like one year they're just finally going to seal the deal. But again, I'm not placing everything on him. And that's what I don't like about the NFL. Sometimes you want to blame the QB for external factors. For example, that one year Lamar lost to the Titans, they're blaming him. His receivers were dropping the ball like it was hot. It's like they were playing hot potato. Lamar was getting the ball in positions where the receivers can catch it. To this, that, and those interceptions weren't thrown directly to the defenders. They were deflected passes off the receivers' hands themselves. So uh, like I said, Dak I feel is a good leader, and he's going to continue to bring that team along. Yes, they have good pieces around him as well, but you still have to know how to work with them.
I got you. Now, look, bro. I understand what you're saying, and I really do respect it. But I'm still taking K1. That's just me. That's just respectfully. I'm taking K1 over Dak. You can think what you want about Dak. Trust me, I saw Hard Knocks just
I
like
will
everyone
respect
else.
it. I will respect it because I've heard crazier takes. It is okay. I expect nothing less from Patriots fan.
It's hey, won't now. Fuck you. First off, fuck you. All right.
Yeah, I thought y'all were gonna be good after Tom Brady. Nah.
Bro, I have no faith in Michaela Jones. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. All right. No faith. I want them to ship his ass quicker than they can go ahead and say Michaela Jones. I want Michaela gone.
I'm sorry, why? What are y'all saying? He's a female?
I call him Michaela until he plays well, and then he goes back to Mac. So Michaela is just to make fun of him
Um,
because he be out there playing like a sissy.
I would have just called him mac and cheese. That ass.
Hey yo. Now, really quickly though, before we go ahead and continue, I'm gonna go ahead and crack that because we not sponsored by him, but if somebody from Ghost goes ahead and see this, holla at your boy. Um, but it's just Michaela or Mac and Cheese, as you like to call him, has never done anything. He makes hissy fits on the field, and he got benched for Bailey Zappi.
He also plays dirty. How you gonna fat? How you gonna be fat and play dirty and you not fast? Come on, son.
Bro runs like a 5.5 40. I know if you put me and him on the field together and you said run, I'm dusting his ass.
I hope he wouldn't run a 5.5.
Bro, boy, you know how fast I am. You been on the field with me. Don't play me.
You be slower than damn near every lineman. Yeah, them niggas be moving
Look, it's just Mac and Cheese is not that guy. He's not that guy. All
We knew
right.
that. We knew
But
that.
we're gonna go back to the original. So for my picks in the AFC representing, I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. Me and Joe Shiesty, we're good friends. Not really, but I hopefully so one day.
He's due for one. He's due for one.
Joe Burrow is gonna make it into the AFC,
Don't
and
forget
then
about Chase. You can't do it without him.
Jamar, my favorite player in the league. All
You
right.
can't do it without him.
I know Jamar, my favorite player in the league, hands down. Ain't nobody it goes Jamar one and then Bryce Young two. That's my top two for favorite players in the league right now.
Rush Young just got in here.
I'm a huge Bryce Young fan.
You dicky niggas before they even play.
Bro, I'm not doing that. It's just Bryce.
You dicky before he even
I've been
play.
watching Bryce since he was playing at Mater Day, bro.
Bro, you dicky before he even play.
All right, if you want to go ahead and say yes, like that's fine. You know what? F it. I don't care. I'm a Bryce Young fan. That's my guy.
He ain't even. All right.
But you see what that boy done on the field though, right? Over in college. He got
Bro,
drafted number one, right?
here's why we can't keep bringing up college. All right. Think about how many guys were studs, great, wild highlights in college, got in the NFL and didn't do nothing.
How many of them
I'm
won a
gonna
Heisman?
use Tavon Austin and DeAnthony Thomas every single time because their highlights were amazing. You couldn't touch them. And what did they do when they got here? Nothing. Disappointments.
But their receivers, they play a dependent position. They're dependent on their QB and their scheme. Like, excuse me, Bryce Young, that boy won a Heisman. Play for Bama in the SEC. And we know how them Bama boys rolling nowadays and who they're playing against. Bryce Young put up a better fight against Georgia than anyone in the
There's
playoffs.
a whole bunch of Heisman winning quarterbacks that got into the league and still ain't do nothing. Or maybe a little smidge or something. Not every quarterback that wins
In
the
the last
Heisman.
in the last 10 to 15 years, quarterbacks that have won the Heisman relatively have had good NFL careers.
Marcus Mariota.
He's still in the league.
He's
He
still in
he
the league.
he was
He's still in the league, but he ain't do nothing good.
he had a few good years in Tennessee. He played relatively well in Atlanta this last year, even though he got benched towards the end of the year.
But
I understand that.
didn't they win like 3 or 4 games?
He
That's
played
good.
like 6 or 7.
That's good. That's good to you.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
3 games is okay.
Look, look,
Who you lying? Who you lying to me or yourself?
myself, but fuck it. All right. At least I'm man enough to admit. Look, I'm just trying to stand up for Bryce Young because what are the things that Bryce Young is good at? Bryce Young is accurate. He's a good decision maker. He's good in and outside of the pocket. And he's gone ahead and he's played multiple years under Nick Saban. Come on now. Like, Nick Saban's gonna prepare him right.
Then we think the same thing for mac and cheese.
Mac and Cheese had one good year, was a Heisman finalist. All right. Yes, did he win the Natty? He did. But
Bryce Young didn't do it. As a matter of fact, did they even make the Final Four?
they made it his first year starting.
I'm talking about his last year before he got into the league. What did he do his last year?
No, he didn't do he got I think it was Georgia beat him.
Yeah,
So he lost they lost to LSU, Tennessee, and Georgia.
that's 3 L's. Me,
Two of those teams were ranked number 1 at one point though.
you still go to Bama. That's what we throwing out there, right?
All right, but remember what he did. So keep in mind, he lost Mechie and he lost Williams in last year. He lost both of them. They both, I think, both of them tore their ACLs actually. And then last year, he ain't have nobody to throw to. Like it was all like dudes that they just threw in there. You know, like Mac Jones literally had 3 first rounders he was throwing to at Bama. 3 first rounders. Last year, Bryce Young, I guarantee you, did not play with a single person who's going to go past the 3rd round. It's all like fifth, sixth, 7 rounders if they do make the league.
I will say if they make it, because
So, like, you telling me that he's supposed to go toe to toe with Georgia when Georgia has 1st rounders everywhere, and he only got that on the defensive side?
me personally, I'm gonna say yeah, he won the Heisman.
But he won the Heisman when he had his weapons.
Hey, he won the
And
Heisman.
and even then, they still weren't nowhere near what Mac had.
Sam,
Mac had like 3, 4 1st rounders on his squad.
hear me out. Let's see how he does in his first few games before we be like, oh, he's gonna have to
And
leave
he's
again.
starting now.
They ain't have who do you have to beat out?
Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was supposed to start the first like 5 or 6 games of the year, and then they were going to give it to Bryce. But now they're just playing Bryce outright.
Andy Dalton, guys. Come on.
What? It's the veteran. They're going to start the veteran first and let the newbie go
The
ahead and
veteran,
wait.
he's a veteran that probably should not still be in the league though.
Ooh, don't say that now.
I don't know
There's
why he's
there's
still
a
in.
lot of there's a lot of backup quarterbacks that I would not take over Andy Dalton. As my backup, I want Andy Dalton in the room. Absolutely. I'm not saying he's a starter, but as a backup, come on now. Not many backups better than Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton got playoff
Andy,
experience.
Andy is there for younger quarterbacks to come in and learn from him. He's
No,
not.
absolutely.
He is the guy they're looking to replace.
They're trying to go ahead and surround Bryce with
Younger
like
quarterback.
veteran presence to teach him
Exactly. So
because they got
we already knew Bryce was going to be starting. That's why they brought him in, because they did not trust Andy Dalton to be their starting quarterback.
Nah, you right.
It didn't take long for Bryce to take that spot, and it was just the very beginning. Like they really didn't get into camp yet.
Nah, absolutely,
Knew
100%. I look,
they
I
knew he was a day one starter. That's why he got picked so fast. Andy Dalton was only there to be a veteran. So I don't want to be like, I don't want to throw that out there and be like, oh, look at him, he's starting. They knew we knew who was starting.
we
We
no,
knew.
of course we did. But I'm saying he's starting like day one. Like they're not even going ahead and throwing the let him sit even out there. They're just saying you're gonna start right away.
Exactly. We, we, we,
So
we
so
all we all knew that.
we're gonna see with Bryce Young. But yeah, so Eagles, Cincinnati, and against the contrary, I would give Cincinnati a 3-point favorite because it's a neutral field. I would take Cincinnati by at least 3 in the Super Bowl if they were to play the Eagles, since it's on a neutral site and it's not in Philly. I think in Philly, Philly wins that game. In Cincinnati, it's a toss-up. Neutral field, I would take Cincy by 3.
They don't got. I don't think they got the defense to keep up with that offense. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But I think their offense is good enough to go ahead and hold them in any game.
I don't think their offense is that explosive.
Because let me ask you this: who would you rather take, Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow as your QB?
That was a great question, because I was talking to a few people about this, because I had some Eagles fans trying to say, "Oh, he's the number one quarterback in the league." Had to dead that off rip. They're smoking crack if they think he's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Not
But it was
facts.
a very, very close toss up between him, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. I think right now I'm going to take Joe Burrow because he's already been in the playoffs twice and he made it to the Super Bowl. Um, I need to see a little bit more from Jalen Hurts because everyone can always have that one really good year. I need to see it more consistently. But with the weapons that they have on their offense, and Jalen Hurts is a really great leader. He took that Eagles team and completely turned them out. I haven't seen the Eagles play this well as a unit in so long. And
Hmm.
I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Eagles, but you have to respect what they're
I
able to
I
do
do. I
as
do.
football. And
It's just
I hate it coming out
but
of my
it's
mouth.
but it's like, bro,
Oh,
you seen Joe Burrow walk into Tennessee, get sacked almost 10 times, win the game in Tennessee.
oh,
Then you
that's
saw
another
him
thing.
go
That's another
into
thing. If
Arrowhead,
you think Joe Burrow with that O line is going to be able to keep up with the Eagles rushing,
but they just took away Kansas City's right or left tackle.
what do you mean?
I think it was like Orlando Brown was his name or something like that.
Mhm.
He was Kansas City, one of their best linemen outside of like their center,
Yeah, I know
and
that.
he's in Cincinnati now. So they upgraded the O line, and I think they drafted a few more people. The O line is for sure going to be better,
We'll see, because that's the one thing that they don't have. And if you don't have a good O line, Joe Burrow's a good quarterback, but we see what happens.
and cause you can't and remember Cincinnati, you got T Higgins and you got Jamar. I would take Jamar over AJ Brown,
Reasonable.
and I would take T Higgins over Philadelphia's number two, Devontae Smith.
I don't know about that one. That one we're gonna have to argue. I don't know about that one.
That one's a toss up. You can convince me
Uh,
otherwise, but you ain't gonna
what
move
was
me with Jamar.
Devontae? Wasn't he like the only receiver to ever win like a Heisman?
No, he was the second. Desmond Howard out of Michigan won the first one.
But we see how good Devontae Smith is. I'm not taking.
Nah, he's a dog. Dog.
There's no world I'm taking T Higgins over Devontae Smith. I'm sorry about that one. That one I can't do.
Okay, all right. You know what? I'll give you that. I'll give you
You
that.
might be giving T Higgins a little too much credit right now.
Okay, you know what? That's fine. I will go ahead and I will give you that. But you're not moving me on Jamar. Jamar, I'm staying pat.
I'm not even gonna argue Jamal, but I mean Jamar.
Hey yo.
He's not. There's not a huge gap between him and AJ Brown either,
No,
because AJ
there's not. You're right. You're
Brown
right.
still played really well. So if we're taking those two receivers, I think we're gonna get much more production out of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith by a small margin over just Jamar Chase and T Higgins.
And you know what? That could be very true. I would not be surprised if that happens.
The Eagles also have a better O line and a
They
better
do.
run game and way better run game. They can smack you from all angles. They can tire you down in the run game, and when they feel like
Hmm.
they can pass the ball. And also, Hurts can get up that pocket very well too.
Well,
He is a very smart quarterback. I hate the Eagles so much, but I respect them offensively and defensively because they terrorized the league this year.
nah, they did. And honestly, too, remember they probably could have had a better record had Jalen been in those last two games.
Yep, and I told you, if Hurts didn't fumble, the Eagles probably would have won that Super Bowl. I hate it because I'm a Giants
Wait,
fan, but
I'm bugging. I made a whole video on the Eagles winning it again. I'm totally bugging. I gotta go ahead and backtrack a little bit.
you're gonna have to reevaluate everything that
I
we
got
just.
I had you know what? I am gonna reevaluate it. It's Philadelphia by 7 against the field.
Here's the crazy thing about the AFC: they have great quarterbacks who do a lot with the weapons that they have, but none of them have the O line to stop Philadelphia's defense from getting to that quarterback, and
Yo,
that's
and
gonna work out over the course of a game.
bro, and Philly's
Only
defense is
Patrick
like half
Mahomes,
Georgia players now.
I know, their D line can move. They're a bunch of big that can move.
Yeah, nah, for real. It's
The secondary is still good. It's probably not going to be as great as it was last year.
well, they just drafted Keely Ringo, the corner out of Georgia. He's probably gonna help around a little bit.
But I was talking about with them losing that Gardner Johnson.
Nah, that's true. Wait, where? Oh yeah, because CJ he ended up going to the Lions. Tell you, man, don't sleep on them Lions. Don't sleep on the
Yeah.
Lions. That's that dark horse right there,
Honestly,
bro.
I'm not sleeping on them, but you also have to remember they're still in the East. I mean NFC. They're still in the NFC. They're still a top dog that they need to get past.
And you are absolutely right. You know what? And that's why I said I would peg them to make the divisional game. Maybe not the NFC title game, probably the divisional, but that's who I would go ahead and slot them as.
Because as it stands, at least for right now, the Eagles still have the most complete team because they have the rushing and the passing attack to go with it. They may not be the best passing team because that's just not the scheme of their offense, but what makes them dynamic in that aspect is that they
Hmm.
can run the ball and they can wear down that D line, and you can't just like they're not a one dimensional offense. You can't stay in one defense.
Hey yo, all right, look, I had a food delivery. Come on now, cuz you want
On
to see
camera
this
is crazy. 4K.
on camera?
Hi, Ashley.
Levaughn says hi. Damn. Okay. Um. Thank you.
You sweetened.
Hey, look, it's a food delivery. All right, not many people go ahead and get food mid podcast. I know it's a little bit unprofessional, but fuck it. All right, small channel. Where were we?
I'm talking about the Eagles' ground and air game.
So look, Miles
Hurts,
Sanders did leave.
he's someone who's going to give you 40 touchdowns a year. That I'm going
Yeah,
to
that's
see.
true.
But because they're so balanced and able to run the game, run the ball, that's what makes them so dynamic and hard to stop.
All right, well look, we'll see how they do because they just got the running back from Seattle this year after Miles Sanders left.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. What's the word? Impressed by him at all. A lot of Eagles fans are like, "Oh, we just got Rashad Penny." He's not better than Miles Sanders. I'm sorry, Miles Sanders did a lot
Yeah,
for them
no,
in
he's not.
the last 2 or 3 years. So I don't know why they're acting like Rashad Penny is a good trade off. But they also picked up DeAndre Swift. But they picked up two injury-prone running backs compared to the one guy that has been with them and consistent over the last couple of years.
Because they ain't want to pay the man. That's why they didn't want to.
They
They
want to pay.
realized they had to go ahead and pay Jalen Hurts, so they couldn't pay Miles too.
Yeah.
Because
So
Miles is going to demand better running back money. He's going to get like 8 or 9 million a year. And right now, the running back market, the biggest guys are getting like 12, 13, you know?
yeah.
Well, look, man, you know what? I respect the thoughts. I respect the opinions. What was your Super Bowl picks again?
I'm still interested to see how the Dolphins do because now
Dolphins gonna be scary,
they got somebody who could keep up with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
they do. They can
They
keep up with
got
any
Jalen
receiving
Ramsey.
core,
They got to see Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard twice a year. That's not two easy dubs no more.
and we
Jamal
already
Howard
seen.
is carry up there too, and they got
We
Christian Wilkins on that D line wrecking.
And Mike McDaniel's, he's gone ahead and cemented himself as a good coach in the league. I ain't gonna take that away from him. He's also really funny to watch too. Man, this is a clown.
He is.
But so who do we have as your Super Bowl picks?
I'm gonna. I'm putting the Eagles back.
And who are
I'm.
they playing?
It's a toss up. It's either going to be the Bengals or the Chiefs.
So we gonna leave the Bills and the Jets out?
We're going to leave the Bills and the Jets out only because the Dolphins now have Jalen Ramsey on their defense, and picking up Robbie Anderson was a nice pick too.
Okay. All
They're
right.
picking up those pieces on offense and defense does a lot. One great corner shuts down one side of the field. You
And
put
Miami
Jalen
got
Ramsey
two.
on, huh?
And Miami got two.
Yep. So pick a side. Pick a side. Which one are you gonna fuck around and test? You have to see them twice a year for what 60 minutes. You better scheme up something real good because the airspace is restricted. It's
Yo, for real.
it's real restricted right now. Good luck.
God forbid they get injured. That's a scary secondary.
Like the airspace is very much restricted.
But
Good
now
luck.
who do you got winning the whole thing though?
Eagles don't blow it. Oh, they just got to be in my conference, and I'm in Delaware. There's too many Eagles fans because we too close to Philly. I'm not trying to hear nobody mouth. My roommate, an Eagles fan, he was talking shit all year. As a matter of fact, I didn't even go watch the Giants play the Eagles in that playoff game. Once I saw them go up 14-0, he texted me. I was just like, "You got it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be in the same room watching my team get smacked." So, I'm gonna put the Eagles back up there for sure, and to toss up between the Bengals and the Chiefs because the Chiefs are looking good right now in their practices.
So basically, you got one or two teams going ahead and making it for the AFC, but regardless, they're not beating the Eagles, is what you're saying.
Regardless, they're not beating the Eagles because again, their O line. Actually, we'll see. Right now, the Eagles D line is looking superior.
Look, I think barring injury, it's a safe lock for the Eagles, at least to make it to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I mean, because they had dinner, everybody healthy.
And everybody's back.
Yeah,
Outside of Miles Sanders, literally everyone else is back. And they went ahead and I mean, look, Rashad Penny is no slouch. He's still a good back.
slouch, but he's not that good either.
Behind that line though,
Yeah, fair enough. He never had.
and all the attention's not going to be drawn to him because you got to respect Jalen as a runner too.
But he also they all he. I feel like Rashad has to beat out DeAndre Swift. Remember they did pick him up, and
You
that's another.
right, you
They
right, you right.
got another 1-2 punch running backfield with a mobile quarterback who makes great decisions and has a
And
good enough arm to put the ball in spaces that it needs to be in.
and look, they run the read option as good as anybody else in the league.
Play action as well, because like I said, they're gonna wear you down with the run game. You got to worry about that, and don't forget he can still pass the ball.
Now you right, you right, you right. Well, look, you know what? On that note,
Very
we
solid.
it looks like we both got the Eagles not only making it back, but sealing the deal this year. We
And
love to go ahead and see it. Um, and on that note, guys, I'm glad y'all watched the show. Appreciate y'all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll go ahead and I'll plug Levaughn's IG so you can go ahead and give him a look. When you guys get the chance. Appreciate y'all. Deuces.